Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, April 1, 2021. New travel restrictions are now in effect for persons coming into the island from Brazil, Chile, Peru, Colombia, Argentina, and Paraguay. The restrictions took effect today and are expected to be reviewed on April 13. As is the case for travelers from the United Kingdom, all non-Jamaicans who have been in these 6 South American countries within 14 days before their intended arrival date in Jamaica will not be permitted to enter the island. Jamaicans who have been in these areas and are seeking to enter the island through another country will be tested and detained in state quarantine for a minimum of 48 hours until the results are returned. This will be at their own expense, and those who test negative will be allowed to complete the 14-day mandatory quarantine period at home. If positive, they will remain in isolation at a location that is approved by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. A statement from the Office of the Prime Minister says the decision comes after a review of the situation in South America, where several countries on that continent are experiencing a spike in COVID-19 cases. It's also due to the increasing number of countries with 2 strains of the virus, which the World Health Organization has classified a variant of concern and a variant of interest, collectively referred to as the Brazilian variants. One of these strains has been reported to be more transmissible than the UK variant. The Office of the Prime Minister says the new travel restrictions on the specified countries are to decrease the likelihood of these more transmissible variants entering Jamaica, especially now as the island experiences a second surge of cases which has threatened to overwhelm our healthcare system. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says government is working to develop further strategies and put in place impactful policies to deal decisively with the scourge of violence. He told Parliament on Tuesday that an instrumental approach was being taken to study the problem of violence in the society and implement measures to solve it.
In 2019, I empaneled a commission, the National Commission for Violence Prevention. And that commission has started its work. It has presented to me recently, and I have approved their national strategic plan.
Mr. Holness said the intention was not to reinvent works that had already been done across various agencies, but rather to coordinate and structure them under a national policy.
And I'm expecting that within a year we should be getting a report which will enable the government then to come to the country with a comprehensive strategy. Not just a strategy for the government, but for all stakeholders to participate. So we can have a clear roadmap that how together government, opposition, church, all stakeholders can speak with one common voice against violence.
Both sides of the House of Representatives stood in solidarity during Tuesday's sitting for a solution to end violence against women and girls. A moment of silence was observed as they collectively voiced their outcry to the trend of vicious murders and rapes in recent days. Sports Minister Olivia Grange says her ministry is looking to launch a mental health program within the next few weeks to help the nation's athletes cope with the effects of COVID-19. The program will be in partnership with local mental health specialists, including psychologists and psychiatrists, along with the support of Australian international body Optimization Hub.
The COVID-19 pandemic has seriously disrupted their lives and their livelihood. And so our athletes, coaches, the support staff, we feel that it's extremely important to provide them with the support they require.
Minister Grange says local consultant psychiatrist Dr. Sapphire Longmore will lead the program, which will be launched on April 15 with a virtual seminar. She says individuals in the sporting sector can also expect continued financial support from her ministry as they navigate the impact of the pandemic. The National Works Agency, NWA, has now completed the St. James leg of its ongoing patching program. The patching work in that parish was done at a cost of $30 million and forms part of a larger program in the region, which targets critical sections of several roadways in St. James, Trelawney, Hanover, and Westmoreland. The overall program is valued at close to $300 million. Community Relations Officer for the NWA's Western Office, Janelle Ricketts, says that in St. James, the program targeted the worst affected sections of several roadways across the parish. Meanwhile, the NWA has also completed work on the North Gully, located in Green Pond in the parish. This $10 million project forms part of ongoing efforts by the agency to upgrade the North Gully, which is one of the main gullies that carries storm water through several communities close to the city of Montego Bay. The scope of work included the construction of gully walls and inverts, as well as steel fabrication and formwork and the pouring of concrete. And finally, the second weekend of lockdown to contain the spread of the coronavirus begins this evening at 8 p.m. The curfew will continue all day on Good Friday with a 7-hour break on Saturday between 5 a.m. and 12 noon. Following that, it will remain in place until Tuesday, April 6 at 5 a.m.
To be clear, on no movement days, that would be the days when the entire day is under curfew, persons will be allowed to seek urgent medical care, and those who have overseas travel plans can make their way to or from the airport.
Fisherfolk and farmers will be allowed movement, while essential workers, which include the media, are reminded to have their ID ready to present to the police at checkpoints.
Though you are permitted to move on the no movement days, it is movement in pursuit of your job. So it is not a wholesale movement license or exemption. You are only permitted to move in pursuit of your job.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister says scheduled vaccinations of persons 75 years and older with appointments at selected locations will continue during the curfew hours. This includes Saturday's vaccination blitz at the National Arena.
Persons will be required to present evidence of the appointment. And how it will work is you will show the text message that you would have received or your email to the police.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.